Right now, those who are in control of Earth are what we call the Asuras and the Rakshasas. The reality is a multidimensional plane, horizontal, vertical. That is the reality.
As humans, we are by default curious about what is consciousness is.
Even the table is conscious. That's why people of Bharat go to Bhakti to a lingam.
So you do believe in reincarnation also?
Of course, it's very obvious. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just gets transformed.
How do you prove it?
Many people come to Auroville feeling the vibes and all the questions that come with it, no? Because it's not a young place. It's 56 years old. Today is our birthday.
Yeah,
Now, did
I
you go
came
to
to know about it today.
You went to the, you see how beautiful it is, no?
Yeah.
You see how because it's based on unity in diversity. So like we say, Sanatan Dharma or Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
Yes.
So the world is one family. And the oneness of India is very different from the oneness of the monotheistic religions,
Absolutely.
which is based on conformity. We're one, but if you're not conforming with me, I will kill you. No? But in India it's different because that whole way of life has been there not just a few hundred years, but thousands and thousands of years.
True.
That's why you have so many kingdoms that are living together.
And I think the
Yes.
beauty of it is that in India, it's not about one God. And gods are not coming based on certain deeds, they are coming from nature. If you realize.
Hold on, that is only your what we call the horizontal understanding of it.
Oh, I would love to hear
Yes,
more layers.
because you see, this diversity has two aspects. One, the horizontal, and one is the vertical. When you're talking about unity in diversity, you're talking about the one that is eternal
Okay.
and the diversity that is infinite. The eternal and the infinite. Infinite means it's innumerable.
Yeah.
The one eternal means absolute. But these are just two sides of the same coin. The one. No? When you look at the horizontal aspect of the diversity, then you go into the material aspects of it. No, it's like you're made out of trillions of atoms, and then you have the Hubble telescope now. That when it looks at the sky, it's not just looking at stars. There are billions of galaxies,
Absolutely.
never ending. No. And then if you use the electron microscope, and that's fractal going out, and you go fractal going in, atom subatomic particles, no? And you can see it's also endless.
Yeah, it's almost similar.
Yes, so that's just what we call the material aspect. But now when you go to the vertical, now you're talking about multi-dimensions. You've seen dead persons, no? Dead people. They're made out of the same minerals, but they're not moving. So what makes you move? What dimension makes you move? So we call it the life force, prana, chi, no? So you see, that's already a different dimension. It's supra-physical. It's not anymore physical, but it's a force, a shakti, no? An energy. It's already on a different dimension. So now, you add another dimension, which is the mind. So that's another dimension. That's why we call Prakriti as the body, the life, the mind. And then you add Purusha, the spirit. No? So that's again another dimension. And then you add all the different realms of the gods. Even your dream world is on a different dimension. So, limitless horizontally. Look at the different species, different hydrogen, oxygen, all the different types of atoms. Infinite diversity. That's why how many insects are there? How many plants are there? No? How many variations are there? No? Because and then when you go to the vertical diversity, how many gods are there? How many realms are there? How many dimensions are there?
Interesting.
Yes. So it's like that. here, this is the beauty of India, because you have more than 30 million gods at least, no? And each one is representing something.
Right.
No, the Vedic gods is different from the Puranic gods, and this and that, no? So even Krishna, when he introduced the what we call the physical realm, we call him as the godhead of the overmind, no, which is populated by devas, asuras, no?
Right.
The vital world populated by rakshasas, the forest spirits populated by pisachas, no? So it's like that, and it's never ending, because it's infinite. Infinite means infinite, no?
Yeah.
Whatever you can imagine, it is real in a certain realm.
So would you say that if you understand the infinite and eternal, that is the starting point of you going towards enlightenment?
The enlightenment, what does enlightenment mean? We also have another name for it, which is awakening. Awakening to what? What is this term that says tat tavamasi? What does it mean?
I have no clue, honestly.
Because we are always in a search, no? Who am I? What am I doing in this crazy planet? This is what we call the existential quest. That's why the scientists trying to find out by cutting everything. Cut. Maybe I'll find out in the atom, in the subatomic particle, and everything, no?
Yeah.
But in the Eastern countries, the yogic way is to find out by going within. Not externally cutting things, but going within.
But we today live in a world where we want to prove things. So
Yes.
I see the point here, because in Eastern world we are actually focusing on thoughts. It all starts with a thought, right?
That's why they said, I think, therefore I am. But in the Eastern way, we say, I am, therefore I think.
Yeah.
Aham. I am the source consciousness.
Right.
Therefore I can think. You are consciousness itself. Thinking is just one aspect of consciousness.
Correct.
Very limited aspect of consciousness.
You must have read tons of things while you are also writing a lot of things. What
Oh, yeah,
inspired
because-
you?
Because our age is already the age of information and communications. And we have reached a point in our evolution that we already know that we are one. We are not separate from each other.
I think
So-
a lot of people won't agree with that, but yes.
And that's why we have the sciences. That's why when you talk about quantum physics, the table that you are looking at is not just a piece of wood.
No, there are tons of things happening here.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah.
That's why we say even the table is conscious. That's why India, the Indians, or people of Bharat, go to Bhakti to a lingam. Because they see Shiva dancing in the lingams as the very atoms itself,
Yeah.
which quantum physics have already reconfirmed. They even built a very big particle collider in Switzerland called the CERN. And India gifted them a statue of Nataraj, which is right there outside the CERN laboratory.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Now you know.
Now I do, yeah.
This is our age, dude. I studied that in 84.
Okay.
It's like Hong Kong 1990 was Windows 3.1. And just over 30 years, look, we're accessing all this information from all over the world. So that's why we say this planet, you can access all the accumulated knowledge and experiences of everyone in the planet.
Right.
Not like in the old days, you didn't have the technology. You want to answer a question, you have to find the guru in the Himalaya. Now it's Guru Google.
Guru Google. And
Huh?
there's a dimension above it now.
Even
ChatGPT,
AI, it's like,
yeah.
now Gemini, Bard. I've tested them. them because I wanted to know where they're getting their information. So I'm quite impressed. English is perfect, and the answer comes in 3 seconds.
Wow. So from being an engineer to coming here, and
Yeah, because that's the whole thing, no? It's like at some point, because our life is not just one-dimensional, it's multidimensional. So you have your particular programming, social programming, personal programming, relationships and relational programmings, work programmings, it's already multidimensional. So you're engaging with so many different modalities of existence all at the same time, no? So it's very interesting.
then what would you say is the right age to keep?
There's no right age. Because some may have been born very awake. Some can even remember their soul choosing a particular parent to reincarnate into.
So you do believe in reincarnation also?
Of course, it's very obvious. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just gets transformed.
How do you prove it with respect to the reincarnation? I mean,
But we have to have an OBE, an out-of-body experience. Because right now, you're just trying to understand it through your intellectual brain.
right.
This is nothing. You have to have an experience that you're not, your consciousness is too identified with this Homo sapienness. So you have to experience your consciousness detaching from that. We call it an out-of-body experience, an exteriorization of your Purusha. Because you're the Purusha that is deathless, the energy that is neither created nor destroyed. Right now, it's just in the form of a human. Every time you eat, that energy is converted into something else.
Right.
The Panchabhutas, the five elements. So it depends on you how wide you can absorb all this information and put it all together in a synthesis.
Wow.
If you're an engineer, you can see the connections, no?
Yeah, no, I do. Hence, I'm like continuously thinking. So, I'm also thinking of things that you're not telling me, the underlining stuff that you are not explicitly mentioning. I think I'm also thinking of those things, and I'm trying to connect the dots with all the things that you.
Yeah, so
started
now
with.
it depends on your question. I can gauge which level you are in your understanding.
I don't know how many levels are there. So
No, I mean, based on your question. So what is your question now?
I think my question to you would be that once someone has experienced an out-of-body experience, and the feeling or emotions of that is something very different.
Oh yeah.
So
The
why
level
would-
of Ananda, right now, people says their highest level of Ananda or bliss is a sexual orgasm.
correct, because that's when your mind is not.
Yeah, but when you have an out-of-body experience, you have more than 100 times that bliss.
Wow. My question here is, if that has been experienced, why wouldn't they want to go to that level of consciousness and add to your physical form?
Yes, because when you experience that, you discover that everyone is you. Because there's only one. You have a self-realization. All this game is your game. You created it in the first place. All the players is all us. Right now, we're just in the divided infinite form, within a hierarchical order. But we're all one. So when you have a self-realization like that, you've experienced that fundamental oneness. So you're not anymore a victim. You realize that you are that one. That's why I say, Tat Tavamasi, you are that. So, you're not anymore escaping your game because it's your game. So when you come back to the game, you're laughing. Let's play the game. But you're playing with your other selves that has different levels of knowledge and capacity. So it's the ultimate MMORPG game because the game is in a continuous unfolding manner. That's why we call it evolutionary. It never stops. Every moment you are a different something. Every moment it changes. How can you even move your hand if it's not the case?
Right now, my mind is actually wandering in multiple directions. A lot of people go towards substances to experience these things.
Yes, it's part of the experience because each individual is unique. There's no one like you in the whole universe. Even every moment is unique.
Right.
There's no same moment in there because look at how dynamic the whole process is. How
So
can you double each moment?
So here the concept of time also comes into picture.
Oh yes, of course, because it's obvious.
Yeah.
Time is the movement of your consciousness. Space is the extension of your consciousness.
Interesting.
Remember, there's only one consciousness, Satchitananda.
But then, as humans, we are by default curious about what this consciousness is.
Yes, because you are fundamentally consciousness. You're just in a limited modality. That's why you're searching for yourself. Because
And
your
that's-
fundamental essence is that consciousness that has hidden itself from itself. That's why we call it a hide and seek game.
And
That is why you are. That is why we call it a revelation, a revealing. The whole apocalypse means a revealing of something because you have hidden yourself from yourself.
And I think that's the true question then.
Yes,
And that's the only question.
that's the only question. Who is it that you're looking for? That's why you try so many ways to find out, no? And
Yeah.
that is where knowledge comes in, the curiosity comes in, that kills the cat. The game you can't expect it to be as simple as such, because it's the Supreme that created the game. You're 100% you. Remember, we're a self-limited
Yeah.
version of that. Maybe just 10%, 5%. You're lucky if you're 10%. So the 100% of us has created the super duper game,
And we are
which we
playing.
call the Leela. And then we're all the player. He is the creator of the game maker, created the field of play, and created all the players. That's why we have these three absolutes, no? The absolute, the universal, and the individual.
Right.
Huh?
Interesting. I'm still stuck on that eternal question. Like now, in this scenario, I think the question remains same, irrespective of how you reach to that consciousness, how you identify your actual consciousness, and basically who am I and why am I here, right?
Yeah.
But all the other questions are basically subcategories because of the paths that we are choosing.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
every path,
Every path is unique.
there's a different.
Yes, exactly. Each path is true in itself, but it is just a part truth,
Right.
which is just a variable of the whole equation.
Correct.
No? And in the end, you will reach the same thing.
Right.
You just have to do your best. Because within that doing, you'll be encountering all your other selves.
Right.
You're intertwined with everything else. Remember? Quantum entangled, you
Right,
call it,
right.
no?
I think that's a beautiful thought, because here is where you start accepting everyone as they are. When we meet somebody, we don't really see them as ourselves. We
Yes, you
see
expect them to be what you expect them to be.
Yes.
Yes, this is the fundamental fault of a separative consciousness.
Right. You have to accept everyone as they are, and that's what Buddha probably said.
The farmer is a farmer, the cook is a cook,
The
the
table
politician is a politician,
Yeah.
the mafia is the mafia.
and everything is same.
No, this is the paradox. The paradox of the one and the many. Because it's a constant dynamic interaction amongst the infinite many. So there's so many different effects on actions. That's why we call it karma. Karma is the action and the effects of action. And you're not acting by yourself because you cannot separate yourself from the rest. So there are players who you want to influence. You can influence. You can kill a tree or a chicken, and you can eat it. But there are forces that are more powerful than you, that you have no control of. Now the next question is, okay, how can I achieve control over this thing? So again, because it's like as a hierarchy,
Right.
you're in a position in space and time, so that is your knowledge and that is your capability. There are things who are subordinate to you that you have influence and control over. But there are many more who you are just a puppet.
Right.
So it's like you're a slave. So how can you're not free, you know? So always the whole shout of the freedom fighter, liberté,
Yeah.
egalite, fraternité. No, it's like that, no? Freedom. So you have to first realize your true self, because your true self is always free.
Right. And I think that's what you just mentioned in the previous conversation. That layer itself is you at the top.
Yeah, because it's only one.
It's only one.
You with the capital
Yeah.
Y. That's why we spell the universe as a Y or universe.
Okay.
It's in my book. It's like that.
I'm definitely gonna get your book.
Yeah, there in Sorang. 29 February is very special.
Right.
It's the anniversary of the descent of the new consciousness we call supramental, beyond the mind.
Wow.
Most humans are a product of the mental consciousness. But the mental consciousness is based on a false separative perception of things.
Absolutely.
So that's why you call it duality. Even the Prakriti that has appeared from that consciousness, see, when you look at me, you can't even see my trillions of atoms and subatomic particles, no, my cells. So that's why your senses are too limited.
Right.
You can only hear a very small piece of the spectrum of sound, no? Spectrum of light, you know. Many
That's
things
very
you don't
limited.
see, no.
Yeah.
So, but now, because evolution is evolution, it's a constant progress, avatars come in opportune times and starts a paradigm shift.
Yeah,
No, it's
I
like you
heard
were
that
hearing, no?
conversation.
Yeah.
I actually kept my book aside. I was like, oh, that is more interesting to
Yes.
hear. Yeah.
So the latest avatars who came are Shira Aurobindo and Namada, because it was time. If they didn't come, no more Earth. Humans would
Right.
have exploded all these atomic bombs and killed each other. No? Right now, they polluted the atmosphere so much. It's like when you know how polluting all this.
I work in
nuclear and all-
sustainability space, so I'm actually trying to protect the planet right now.
Well, this is the thing. This is the question. Because we always said, "Oh, how come the world is so brutal? How can I change it?" No. So you try it in many ways: accumulating wealth, changing the education system, trying to do permaculture, trying to grow your own
I think you
food.
have to change yourself.
Hmm?
I think you have to change.
I mean,
yourself.
everyone tries whatever way they can. Elon Musk says, "Forget it, go to Mars."
he is on a different level of consciousness.
We're learning from that because he bought Twitter because before it was being held by dark forces that didn't want a level playing field.
Absolutely.
So Trump bought it, so now everyone can tweet about anything.
Yeah.
No one will censor them, no? Or it's like that. So we have what we call all sorts of revolutionaries and rebels who are going against the old system.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
right now, those who are in control of Earth are what we call the Asuras and the Rakshasas. These are the dark forces, like any Star Wars movie or whatever. No, it's
Yeah.
like that. And if humans have totally awakened, they will lose their control over the planet. You see, it's still a game. It's a game. Before humans were here, those beings were already here.
Wow.
Humans are just a recent addition to the play.
So, are you hinting towards liberalization and conservationist?
What do you mean?
Like, right now, people who are controlling the entire human race are either coming from power or money or both.
I mean, this is the three most difficulties of the human because the asuras are too attracted to them: money, power, sex.
Right.
This is the play. That's why I'm brahmachari for more than 6 years now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So you have accepted celibacy completely.
No, it's not just celibacy. It's brahmacharya. It's different from the Catholic understanding of celibacy, which is imposed on them. They have no idea of the transformation of energies that is happening inside the body. Brahmacharya is a science of transformation of energy, because Auroville is a living gurukul.
Right.
India is the guru of the nations, and in India we have many gurukuls. Buddhist, this one,
Right.
Ramana Maharshi, Shankaracharya. Everyone has a different flavor. But Auroville is the gurukul, which is of integral yoga,
Right.
which means integral yoga is the synthesis of all the knowledge and all the experiences that humans have accumulated. Nothing in particular, you see?
Right.
See the beauty of it.
You're making me stay here and become a part of it on day one itself.
Yes, that's the whole essence of Auroville. We're creating this city so we can create a sanctuary for all these advanced souls that are incarnating on Earth. We call them the sun-eyed children. Yeah, evolution is evolution, which means every birth you take, you are advancing from your previous limitation.
Absolutely.
And now we have entered the supramental age since 1956. So all the souls that are participating on this planet are very awakened souls. How can you even create a programming like that? Ramanujan comes with all sorts of algorithms. He
Yeah.
says, "Hey, I have a download. Here it is," and then he says, "Bye-bye." Age of 30 something.
Yeah.
Okay, you figure it out. So many geniuses are coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Everyone is playing their role for the what we call the emergence of Satya Yuga, the golden age. Because once the avatars have already started, it is unstoppable. You just have to have an understanding of what it is so you can consciously participate in it.
So this is like a stage that is being created for the.
Yes, because that's the whole essence. You need, because even if an individual has reached a self-realization and wanted to transform his own physicality, he's hitched to everybody else. So the old modalities is pulling him down.
Right.
You need to reach a tipping point of the change of consciousness from the mental to the supramental. So enough individual, because energy is energy. The old energy is so strong that this one cannot it pulls you down, no?
Yeah, it's a simple physics, right? Like water.
Even the human.
Yeah.
When before the Homo sapiens, there was like cavemen, Lucy, the Homo australiensis, from the what we call the ape-like thing, no? And the mind comes in because it was ripe at that point, and so those apes started standing up.
Yeah.
Then the tribes happen, this and that, and then now you have Homo sapiens. So Homo sapiens is a programming. This is a species, no? So now that species has gone to its maximum capacity, and entropy comes in.
Right.
This is the nature itself. That's the whole imperative of nature, is to evolve.
Wow. Honestly, I want to share this here. Like, I came to Auroville for one purpose. Like, I had this dream of creating a village which is made of different minds, and it is always exploring new things with respect to science. But now, when
you need a lot of money for that. But now Auroville is already here for 56 years.
yeah, I mean, when you are talking about Auroville, so Auroville was, somebody told me that, hey, you should visit Auroville if you are thinking of something like this. There's a community already built.
Yeah, don't do it, because I have my own 4-hectare forest, and I wanted to create a community. So I was there for 6 years. I went back to the Philippines, and I called it One Earth Eco Village.
Okay, wow.
I had 4 hectares for myself.
So you have it there right now?
Yes, I have a hermit friend who's taking care of it, because I became brahmachari, and after 1 year, the calling to come to Auroville came. Because I've already passed that test. That is not the solution.
Interesting.
Permaculture is about being off-grid, because we're a slave of the food system, the economic system, the financial system. So you want to create a community that can feed itself sustainably.
Right.
But the whole essence is not maintaining the Homo sapiens modality. You get it? That is for people who want to maintain Homo sapiens. But Auroville is the going beyond the Homo sapiens.
Right.
Everything is energy. Why do you have to kill something to get that energy?
Right.
To go into the next modality.
Wow.
Oh, this is cutting edge. It will blow your mind. Because most humans are still too identified. My name, I'm human, this and that. No. They even have a big homophobic thing about the LGBTQ, because they said, are you male, are you female? But this is the whole symbolism or actualization of this dualistic consciousness that is becoming one.
Right.
So these are the manifestations of it. See?
Interesting.
Because consciousness is genderless. It's neither male nor female.
True.
Now the male-female is only necessary for procreation, so that consciousness can have another body to incarnate into.
Right.
But in the future, you don't need to incarnate and be born again. You're waking up the very body itself. You get it? You're like Goku. You become a Super Saiyan.
I like how you add the New Age examples.
Yes, of course, because this is the whole... This Sri Aurobindo, the mother, was talking about this in the early 1900s. Now humans have caught up. So you have Matrix, all sorts, X-Men, Marvel superheroes, Lucy.
Yeah.
Have you watched Lucy?
I've seen it, yes.
This is the closest example to the next species. Because the whole essence of that is like, now you're using only 15% of your brain capacity. What happens if it goes to 100%? So the same thing with yoga, your identification with your true self is very little. What happens if you're fully identified with yourself, which is so powerful and everything?
You become a superhuman.
Not even a human, not anymore a human.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, my bad. I think you...
Because you're always stuck in the humanity thing, no? It's not just a Superman. It's not just that, because that's just a glorification of the animal.
I think it'll be super something, but...
Super Saiyan, you call it.
Saiyan,
no?
yeah, right. Yeah.
Because you're waking up your body, this is the whole thing.
Yeah.
The scientists who have split the atom and exploded the nuclear bomb, when it explodes, the first thing you see is light. And then all the energy comes out of it, and you're obliterated. So what's the difference with the atoms in your body and those atoms? So all the light, all the electricity, all the heat is there hiding, waiting to emerge.
Right.
But of course, you have to have the proper consciousness. Otherwise, any stupid fool who has that power will obliterate the whole earth. So first, you have to have a proper change of consciousness, not an egoistic consciousness,
Right.
but a consciousness of wholeness. Ah, you see, this is the fundamental. It has what we call firewalls. Without the firewalls, anyone can go into a bank and get all the money, So you
Right.
have to have challenges, blockages, this and that. You have to find the key. Where's the key?
No, you're absolutely right. I was having this conversation with someone. He comes from Vedic philosophy, and he mentioned this very similar stuff where he said that Indian literature is written in Sanskrit, and Sanskrit was a language of. It was a difficult language. Not many people would understand, and the reason why it was written in Sanskrit is so that it does not everyone can understand. You have to literally pass through certain levels of consciousness to understand those things, and as you said, find the key,
Yes.
because otherwise it could be misused.
Yes.
The knowledge could be misused. The power could be misused.
Exactly. But now the time has come for all this knowledge to be revealed. Because even if you have the creative power, but you don't have the knowledge, that's why the creative power is used wrongly.
Right.
A creative power, which is like a nuclear bomb, is so much force, but it is used without knowledge, without the revelation.
And hence extensive destruction.
Yes. So
Which
you
could
must have
restricted.
what we call the knowledge or the revelation that it comes side by side with the creative power. That's why the yoga has 3 legs. Yan, karma, bhakti.
Right.
Yan, the knowledge. Karma, the action.
Actions. Yeah.
And bhakti is the devotion to your 100%,
Right.
which we call the mother. What is the symbolism of a mother? Male, female, where does it come from?
Nobody has ever asked me that question. Interesting.
In your current modality, where do you come from?
I think female, but then
No.
now
Where do you come from? Where do you come out literally from?
vagina
Yes, from the mother.
from the mother. Yeah.
That's why the mother is the creative force. What do you call Bharat? Bharat Mata.
Right.
What do you call Earth? Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Because look at all the creatures she's
Right.
giving birth to. Nature, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So who is the mother of the whole universe? The Mahashakti, the supreme creatrix.
But won't that also be us?
Yes, but this is a symbolism. Everything is a symbol, a matrix,
Right,
a
right,
hologram, no?
Right.
You have to have a symbol, no?
Yeah.
So-
No, I was stuck in that thought because when you asked me mother, and I was like, now based on our conversation, and if I have understood it correctly, I would probably say that it has come from a particular point. Let's call it 0 point. Again, symbolism.
Because the 0 point is, you can only describe it through the negatives. Indescribable, limitless, all the negatives, because it's indescribable, no?
Right.
That's why for some of the spiritual practices, they say, once you speak, you don't know.
Wow.
Because there's no word for it, no? It's
Right.
like, but now with the poets and everything, we can speak about it.
Yeah, I heard that sentence that you said, messenger of incommunicable.
Yes.
I think that was really beautiful.
Mm.
I think that was the point.
That was the
really-
word of Shira Aurobindo in his 24,000 line epic poem, Savitri.
Okay.
Shira, there is an avatar, he has revealed everything.
Right.
So this is the beauty of an avatar. They're no ordinary humans. They're the supreme incarnating on earth and telling whoever is here right now is the humans, is that, hey guys, we're starting a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
So we'll do the hard part because no one can do that except the avatars. You have to battle with all these asuras and rakshasas and all the demons and everything. It is the role of the avatars. No, very powerful, no?
And that's where others join in to create that collation of energy. to
It's
change-
like that. It's like that. The energy, we call it the yin yang.
Yeah.
Because that's the every pang, it's a catalyst for change, small explosions, even light happens because of the battle that is happening within the sun, and its byproduct is photon.
Right.
When the hydrogen becomes helium, it gives off one particle which is called a photon,
Right.
and it travels from there all the way to here, the
Right.
light, so it's like that, a photon, So it's also fascinating. The whole existence is amazing. is magic.
Yeah, whoever has designed this game, that whoever is us, by the way, but
Yes, this is the beauty of it. It's like that's why it's so easy now to go to the bhakti, because you know that in our current modality, I'm just a small speck,
right,
and the Supreme is the one that upholds the whole play.
right,
You see who's keeping all these atoms as a table?
right.
It's not me. It's the Supreme Consciousness. How is all your atoms not dispersing in space?
Yeah,
You're not the one in control, because otherwise you can manipulate your atoms. No,
Right.
you haven't reached that stage yet. So you see how easy it for me to go to bhakti. Once you realize your smallness, but at the same time your it's a double thing. Your insignificance and your depending on who you're talking to. If some individuals have too much ego, then you say you're insignificant. But some people who's like always done, hey, you're significant. No, it depends. No, so it's like that.
So it would be awesome if someone actually realizes how their atoms are being bonded, and I think if they have control over every
Yeah, you cannot just do it through the scientific way, because there's no ending to it. That's why you have to go to the source itself, which is consciousness.
consciousness. Yes.
Prakriti is just the manifestation of that consciousness. So even if you consider trying to manipulate all these cells in your body, where do you start?
I don't know.
Exactly. So that's not the point. You're not going in, because this is the fault of the intellect. It wants to divide things and try to understand it and manipulate it in every detail. But in the yogic way, we're going to the consciousness that is the basis
Right.
of the manifestation. You see, so there's totally different.
And I think this is how we have been brought up, because we like to simplify things, and by dividing it, things are more simplified for human minds. Right?
It's important. It's important. The ego is a very necessary part of the play, because it's a consciousness of individualization. Without the ego, how can you call a hydrogen and a helium? It is the start of the individualization. Now you have names for everything.
Right.
But now the ego has done its job well. You need a new level of individualization, because that's the whole essence.
Right.
From the soup of the akash or the ether, now it starts individualizing, becoming an atom, a subatomic particle,
Right.
and then it starts clumping, becoming rocks, becoming planets, galaxies. No, you don't have name for it. No, and the planet cools down with all the elements. No?
And the life begins.
And then next level is life.
Yeah.
Okay, it's prime, it's cool enough. The sun is there, so it's like fantastic.
I've never thought of things like this until this conversation. The amount of information that my mind is currently absorbing
Yes.
and processing.
Yes, this is the
Yes.
beauty of our age, is that it's easy for you to process now. That's why the information and communications age, you're born into it.
Right.
You can process information very quickly. Right now, we're still in a Homo sapiens body. How do you extend now that your vessel of expression? Because it has an expiry date, as it is. No, so that's why now you have all this wellness lifestyle.
Right.
No, you don't smoke, you don't abuse the physical body, because the physical body is the most abused part of a being who's too separate from even itself.
Absolutely.
It tortures its own body, other people's body, earth body, because it feels so separate from everything else. That's why we say the fundamental essence is a change of consciousness from the dualistic to a consciousness of oneness. This is fundamental. So your whole human lifestyle changes, because everyone is you. Everyone becomes sacred. How would you even harm your body or anyone else? See how it changes your whole, just a change of consciousness, and your whole lifestyle changes. See, very interesting, isn't it?
How would you tell people, because in today's life there are a lot of distractions. Now when I'm talking with you,
Oh, it's very easy, because each individual is different. You see how unpretentious the whole discussion started.
yeah,
So then whatever is the feedback loop from that, I would know already where you are. So if you're not receptive to the information, then
Yeah, the
bye-bye.
conversation would have been much shorter.
Yes, exactly. It's like that, no? Because it's a feedback loop. It's like you're dipping your finger into the water. Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it hot? You know, are you receptive or not? No, it's like that, no? So it's like that. This is the beauty of the play. Oh, but the play is intense because the role of the dark forces or the negative forces, they are catalysts.
So distractions are those dark forces.
Yes, it's also
What I would
necessary
say.
because otherwise they are what we call testers or
Gatekeepers.
catalysts.
Gatekeepers?
No, yes, gatekeepers again and testers.
Right.
Because how do you awaken a stone?
Mm-hmm.
You need the comet that hits it. You know, or how do you obliterate the dinosaurs so that the mammals would have a chance to flourish?
Right.
So you have to have a big comet hitting, or maybe some advanced beings coming and doing some genetic research. You see, that's part of the equation, no? It's
Yeah.
like, well, we'll see. This one is not easy to talk about, not in our current age. Yes, but it's being talked about because you're being prompted by all these films and everything. Because remember, when you're talking about billions of galaxies, what if a similar planet like us, but advanced in 100,000 years? So you can imagine the technology that they have. You know, what is time travel for them? Nothing.
Yeah, they would just. Yeah.
No? So you see.
Honestly, I'm going to process it and I'm trying to find out the starting point because I think that's the most important thing that I'm getting out of this entire conversation. All the other things are going to be in the periphery and they'll keep coming in wherever
Yes,
you are.
because you have to see your center.
Yes.
Because your particular starting point is your unique starting
Exactly.
point.
Yeah.
You know, so then from there you consolidate all this information that is buzzing all around you. So when you're born, you see your parents. Hey, then you grow up.
Right.
So that's why we have different levels of movements of consciousness, no? Sociocentric, planet-centric, cosmocentric. No, the planet-centric people are said, oh, save Earth, this and that. No, like because they already see the fundamental oneness of all the lives on
Right,
Earth,
right.
no? So you go to permaculture, the green movement, but it has its negative extremes. We call them the mean green. There's a healthy green and there's a mean green.
What are those? Like,
Oh, the mean green is like they've already reached a very high level of affluence in society, so they're already rich. And they said, hey, I can eat all this vegetarian food, this and that, no, live a very simple lifestyle. And they expect everyone to be at their level. But there are still those who are coming from poverty, who want to create their own livelihoods and
Correct.
this and that, no? What can you do? Like third world countries, self-realization, you cannot stop because all your other selves are still wallowing in suffering.
right.
People being raped, brutalized, you know, it's like bombs are falling. So how can you stop? And this is the difficulty of the human because they're still slaves of forces or entities that are more powerful than them.
Right.
That's why you have the hierarchy of different beings, no?
And I think that is where you have to process all the emotions that are coming towards you, all the feelings.
Yes, so that's now you understand that these emotions are those players.
Exactly.
Like doubt, anger, they are players in the game.
Yes.
So the role of doubt is to make you doubt.
Right.
But it has its counterpart, faith.
Faith, yeah.
So now it presents itself to you. You as the observer, the consciousness must make a choice, doubt or faith. So you can accept or reject either.
So where does reality come into this equation?
Yeah, that is the reality.
No, like what I'm trying to
No, this is the thing. That is the reality. First, you have to understand that that is the reality.
Interesting, yeah.
The reality is a
Yeah.
multidimensional play,
Right.
horizontal, vertical. That is the reality. That's why we say we start from right here, right now.
Center, yeah.
Yes.
So the way you are talking and thinking, you did mention that there are a few others in Auroville who are on the mean side of it. But wouldn't they also be thinking in a similar direction? Or
Yeah,
there
very quite similar, but the whole Auroville is based on diversity. Because you need the full diversity in this place to hasten the evolutionary process, which means it's a concentrated battlefield.
So it's like having
So the ones,
platform for different opinions.
yes,
Yeah.
and so the evolutionary process goes into an intensified and hastened process.
Right, and that's where the Shastrat you just mentioned comes into picture, like how it was in the olden days, where people with different opinions would come together, debate over.
Yes, yes, a gurukul or something
Yeah.
like that. No, it's always like that. But here it's actual because you have people from more than 60 nationalities.
Absolutely.
We call them archetypes.
Right.
No, and then the whole Indian government is involved in Auroville because Auroville is under the Ministry of Education.
Okay. I didn't know that. Interesting.
So yes, so it's very necessary. So all the way to PM Modi, they're all involved with.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And I think the type of conversation we are having today, I feel that it's important that this goes beyond Auroville. I mean, even a fraction of this, if
We're already doing it because in social media, all of this is going out. You know, there's a lot of influencers. That's why we call people now influencers.
Right.
You know? People tweeting about this. The whole India is like a symbol of all the difficulties of humanity. And in India, in Bharat, the solution will be found.
Yeah.
Because it's based on that, no? If you're always in a state of satisfaction, nothing is moving,
Right.
no? The laziness.
I'm glad I'm reading that book. So you
Tamas.
got attracted. I'm like,
Exactly.
okay, what are you reading?
This is the beauty of it. It happens spontaneously.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for your time.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.